What's up, everybody? This is the Unstuck Podcast, and I'm your host, Drew Koss. Did you ever set a goal, maybe a weight loss goal, and you had everything ready, and it just didn't happen? You told yourself you're going to throw out all the sweets, all the sodas, and it just didn't happen. Stay tuned. This episode is for you if you've ever tried to change and realize it's a lot harder than you think. Let's dive in today. This is a part two episode of us talking about change from different perspectives. It can be business, it can be spiritual, it can be mental, physical. Let's just be honest. Change is difficult. Change is grueling at times. Change is hard. So if it's all of those things, why do we actually change? Well, part of it is sometimes some changes we don't actually have any say so over. Like, we cannot control the weather, we cannot control people, we cannot control certain outcomes no matter how hard we try to. Sometimes we can't. But we want to look at change today as a heart matter, because if we look at it from the root, we probably can get a lot more results. And what do I mean by that? Usually, if you guys are new to me, or if you've known me for a while, you guys know I do online fitness training, and I've done in-person fitness training. And usually this is being shot on January 1st, 2024. Around this time of the year is usually when people commit back to the gym. I'm not against anybody committing back to the gym. I'm not against all the people being in the gym that's new on New Year's. I'm cool with that, because someone's making the decision to go and do something that they weren't doing before. So I'm all for it. Now, with that being said, we see that, and sometimes the person starts to think that I'm going to make this change happen no matter what, from willpower, from guilting myself into this, from putting up a money bet. All those things will usually result in the person going backwards. It'll usually result in the person doing the opposite of what they said they wanted to do. And why, Drew? There's something called neurons. In your brain, you adapt to patterns. You adapt to, this is how I've always done it. This is how I know how to do it. And this is how I'm probably going to keep doing it. Those things in itself will usually keep you completely stuck. And what do I mean by that? If all you know is, when I get mad and I get stressed out, I'm going to eat the whole cheesecake, telling yourself one day that you're not going to do it anymore will work probably for like a week. Then you'll have an episode where you get mad again and you go for the whole cheesecake, and then you'll probably guilt yourself again. This is how I honestly believe that sometimes eating disorders can come out of that, right? You throw it all up, and then it turns into a cycle. Now, something that I've always taught with weight loss, or just change in general, is let's ask ourselves some questions. And I wrote them down so I don't forget. Let's ask ourselves some questions so that we can understand what is actually happening, or what are we wanting to happen with this change. You want to ask yourself the question, if I had to stop this today, that whatever I'm trying to get away from, if I had to stop it and never do it again, what would I have to confront? I'd probably have to confront some emotions. I'd probably have to confront some trauma. I'd probably have to confront, or maybe not, something that happened, right? Something that I used to have a really, really hard time with, and sometimes I still struggle with it, is when I would get mad, I don't yell, I would just shut down. And it was my pattern. So the pattern was, for me, the pattern was serving me in some way to believe that I was protecting myself. The lie in my head was, I'm protecting myself from going nuts, spazzing out. I'm protecting myself from verbally abusing someone. I'm protecting myself from rejection and abandonment. And it's one of the biggest lies. People do it all the time. Men do it all the time too. You don't say anything. And next thing you know, you're internalizing what you should have said. That turns into like bitterness. It could turn into betrayal. It could turn into just rage. It could turn into so many things. So what I told myself at first was, next time I get mad, I'm never gonna just shut down again. And it happened so many more times until I realized, why do I shut down? What do I actually get from shutting down? So when people talk about, like, leaving addictions and stuff like that, they make it sound like they never enjoyed what the addiction, what they got out of it. If someone is an emotional eater, it's not like you're not enjoying the food. So like you're like, I didn't even enjoy that double chocolate cake. You enjoyed it. It did something for you. We want to acknowledge that. We don't want to pretend that we're mutants and we're not. We don't have desires and cravings. We are looking at, why do you keep overeating? If you couldn't overeat, or you couldn't indulge in certain things again, what would you have to confront? So that's all we're saying. We're not trying to make change in addiction some miracle. It's work. Now, the whole point of me shutting down and neurons, to get back to that, is whenever you're changing, your mind is almost going on a new road. Let's look at it as roads. So let's say today's day one. You're used to doing something, and the clarity of it looks like a 4-lane highway. So it's easy. You can just go down the highway. It's easy. And then the next day you tell yourself, you're gonna go around this dirt road where there is resistance. People usually say, and this is true when it comes to like maybe business and things like that, go on the path to least resistance. Cool. If you sometimes take the path, sometimes, depending on what and who's helping you, the path of resistance, you'll probably carve out a new path, a new lane, and it might be better. So let's say the person is trying to lose weight. Let's use that since it's January 1st. The path of least resistance for them is not going to the gym, is not changing any of their eating habits, is not, I'm sorry, the path of least resistance for them would probably be those things. And it could also be going to the gym, changing the eating for about a week. That's least resistance for them. But the path of most resistance, which looks like a dirt road, is some of the hard work. Finding out why you do what you do. Finding out who do you need to forgive. Finding out what things in your heart you need to pluck out and uproot so that you can have a longer, sustaining journey. And that's not easy, but it is essential for real change. Until you're willing to change what's in your heart when it comes to real change, it's going to be temporary. It's not going to last. Something that I wrote down is, we learn and we unlearn through repetition. You learn how to do something through repetition. You unlearn how to do something by repetition. One of my goals was to have 70 videos done by March the 4th. Today's the 41st video. The videos had to be 10 minutes or longer because I wanted to train myself how to speak, how to slow down, which is still a challenge, and to be consistent at sitting in this spot and doing this. That was my goal. So with that goal, I had to do some unlearning that I don't need to get everything out in 60 seconds like I normally would on social media or a YouTube short. I had to unlearn that I can slow down, that I can go deeper into the subjects. We learn and we unlearn through repetition. We do not really learn by just achieving knowledge. That is a part of it. Yes, you need to figure out what you need to do, but you need to actually go and do it. I'm a person that if I do something and I teach it, I ended up learning more about it than just sitting and thinking and planning. Nothing's wrong with planning and thinking, but I actually believe you're going to learn things by doing them. So we learn and unlearn through repetition. So if I kept going down that dirt road long enough and day after day, soon I'm going to carve out a path. That's a new run in your mind. And your mind recognizes, oh, this is something that we can do now. This is a safe route. Your mind's going to always try to go to the safest place. So when you're carving out new lanes, building new habits, doing hard work, give yourself some grace. Allow yourself to realize that this is some new work, this is some hard work, and even though it's new and hard, I still can do it. I still can do it, and I'm going to do it. Think about that. The last thing that I wrote that I want to share is think about the hard work because you want change that actually lasts versus behavior modification. Behavior modification says, I'm going to just not go there anymore. Cool, that's cool. But if you are addicted to anything, if you have habits that you want to break, you're gonna find a way to get what you want if you don't do any hard work. It's like someone who's maybe addicted to drinking. They're gonna find a way to get a drink again if they don't do some hard work. And sometimes you'll see people who don't do hard work, they are not addicted to alcohol anymore, but they're addicted to energy drinks or they're addicted to just drinks in general. We want to do the hard work, which is not easy, but it's essential. It's necessary. And I'd rather see you do slow hard work and see the progress rather than doing like just behavior modification, willpower, guilting yourself into doing something and it just turns ugly for you. So that's my message today. If I was to give you some takeaways, is think what are the things that I habits that I feel that I'm ready to break or ready to make. I have to realize that I learn and unlearn through repetition. And if I want to see bigger and lasting change, I can and I should consider doing the hard work. Go be great, guys. Go be great. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to the episode. To help us spread the word of hope, getting people unstuck, and getting people real life information, we would love if you hit the subscribe button, if you like this, and if you share this. We want to keep giving people these resources to help them change, to find hope, to live again, and you can help us. And we thank you for being here. Take care.